Chapter 1. The Career Glow. Anna McCaffery had always believed in two things: deadlines and good coffee. The first kept her employed. The second kept her sane. On a brisk November morning, she sat in her corner office overlooking the city skyline, the glow of her monitor reflecting off her fiery red hair like a halo of ambition. Digital marketing wasn't just her job. It was her playground. Campaigns, analytics, engagement metrics, she loved it all. And judging by the latest quarterly numbers, she was very good at it. "Anna, you're making the rest of us look bad," Margaret teased as she swept into the office, silver hair gleaming under the recessed lights. Her boss had the kind of presence that made people sit up straighter. Sharp-eyed, elegant, and married for 35 years to a man who still sent her flowers on random Tuesdays. Anna admired her, maybe even envied her. "Just trying to keep the lights on," Anna replied with a grin, fingers flying over the keyboard. Her wit was as quick as her typing, and Margaret loved that about her. "You know," Margaret said, leaning against the doorframe, "success is wonderful, but don't forget to make room for the things that don't fit on a spreadsheet." Anna smirked. "Like yoga? Like love?" Margaret countered, eyes twinkling. "You're 31, Anna. You've built an amazing career. But life isn't just KPIs and conversion rates." Anna laughed, but the sound felt hollow. "I'll pencil it in between Q4 reports." Margaret shook her head, smiling. "You're too smart to believe that." When the door closed, Anna stared at the blinking cursor on her screen. Outside, the city buzzed with holiday energy. Twinkling lights, store windows dressed in garlands, couples holding hands as if cuffed by invisible ribbons of joy. She had all the trimmings of success: a great job, a sleek apartment, a wardrobe that said competent professional. And yet, when she came home at night, silence greeted her like an old friend. Her phone buzzed, a reminder to book her flight home for Thanksgiving. She hesitated. Going back meant questions. The kind that started with, "When are you going to settle down?" and ended with her forcing a smile while her insides twisted like a pretzel. Anna's motto had always been simple: the louder a guy is, the faster he'll break your heart. She'd seen enough of the flashy types, men who treated loyalty like a seasonal trend. If she had to stay single forever, fine. But if she ever found someone worth betting her life on, he'd have to be steady, kind, and in it for the long haul. One marriage. Forever. No exceptions. She closed her laptop and stared out the window, watching snowflakes flirt with the glass. Somewhere between the city lights and the winter sky, a thought whispered, maybe Margaret's right. Maybe it's time to make room for something else. Chapter 2. Home for the holidays. Anna McCaffery hated airports in November. They were a chaotic blend of winter coats, rolling suitcases, and people who suddenly forgot how lines worked. She tugged her carry-on behind her, weaving through the crowd like a pro. Her phone buzzed with a text from Jack. "Jack, Mom's making your favorite pie. Don't be late, or I'm eating your slice." Anna smirked. Classic Jack. Her older brother had perfected the art of sibling torment long before TikTok made pranks trendy. The flight was uneventful, save for the toddler who kicked her seat like it was a personal trampoline. By the time she landed in her hometown, the world outside looked like a Christmas card: snow dusting the rooftops, wreaths hanging on doors, and lampposts wrapped in red ribbons. The air smelled like pine and nostalgia. Her parents' house hadn't changed much. The same white siding, the same porch swing that creaked like an old man's knees. When she stepped inside, warmth enveloped her, both from the fireplace and from her mother's enthusiastic hug. "Anna, look at you." Her mother pulled back, eyes shining. "That hair. You could light up the whole town." "Hi, Mom," Anna laughed, brushing snow from her coat. Her father appeared next, arms open wide. "There's my girl." His hug was firm, grounding. Jack leaned against the doorway, grinning like he'd invented sarcasm. Well, if it isn't the city slicker. Did you bring us any marketing tips? Maybe a hashtag for Mom's pie?" Anna rolled her eyes. "Nice to see you too, Jack." Dinner smelled like heaven. Roast turkey, mashed potatoes, and enough gravy to drown a small village. They gathered around the table, laughter bouncing off the walls. For a moment, Anna felt like she'd stepped out of her own life and into something softer, simpler. Then came the inevitable. "So," her mother began, carving turkey with surgical precision. "Anyone special in your life?" Anna froze, fork halfway to her mouth. "Define special." Jack smirked. "She means someone who isn't your laptop." "Jack," her father warned, though his eyes twinkled with amusement. Anna forced a smile. "Work's been busy." Her mother sighed, the kind of sigh that carried generations of maternal worry. "You're 31, sweetheart. You've built an amazing career, but don't forget, life isn't just work." Anna stabbed a piece of turkey like it had personally offended her. "I know, Mom." Her father cleared his throat, voice calm but firm. "If you put half the energy into finding a husband as you did chasing your career, you'd already be married." Anna looked up, startled. He rarely weighed in on these conversations. He continued, eyes steady. "If your mother had the same expectations for a man as you do, you would have never been born. She would have never looked in my direction." The words landed like snowflakes, soft, but impossible to ignore. Anna swallowed hard, suddenly fascinated by her mashed potatoes. Later, when the dishes were done and Jack had retreated to the living room to watch football, Anna found herself alone with her father. "Dad?" she said quietly. "Do you really think I'm too picky?" He smiled, lines deepening around his eyes. "I think you know what you want. That's good. But don't let perfect blind you to good. Sometimes good is all you need, and it lasts." Anna nodded, though her chest felt tight. She'd spent years building a life that made sense. But what if love didn't care about sense? Outside, snow fell in lazy spirals, as if the world had all the time in the world. Anna wasn't so sure she did. Chapter 3. Ghosts of Christmas Past. Anna had forgotten how quiet her hometown could be. No honking taxis, no endless chatter of city streets, just the crunch of snow under boots and the occasional jingle of a shop doorbell. She pulled her scarf tighter as she walked down Main Street, the air crisp enough to sting her cheeks. Christmas lights twinkled along the eaves of every building, and the scent of cinnamon drifted from the bakery on the corner. She was on a mission for coffee, real coffee, not the weak brew her parents kept in the kitchen like a relic from the 90s. The local cafe was still there, tucked between the florist and the hardware store, its windows fogged with warmth. Anna pushed open the door, and the bell chimed overhead. She stepped inside, shaking snow from her hair, and froze. Behind the counter, laughing with the barista, was a man she hadn't seen in over a decade. Ryan Callahan, her high school boyfriend, the boy who taught her how to parallel park and kissed her under the bleachers after homecoming. The boy she thought she'd marry, until college pulled them in opposite directions. He looked older, obviously, broader shoulders, a jawline that could cut glass, and hair a shade darker than she remembered. But his eyes, warm hazel, flecked with gold, were exactly the same. Anna's stomach did a somersault. Ryan turned, and for a heartbeat, time folded in on itself. His gaze landed on her, and his smile widened in slow recognition. "Anna McCaffery," he said, voice rich and smooth, like the espresso she desperately needed. "I'll be damned." Anna blinked, then managed to smile. "Ryan Callahan. Wow, you exist." He laughed, the sound deep and easy. "Last I checked." He wiped his hands on a towel and came around the counter. "What are you doing here? Thought you traded snow for skyscrapers." "I did," Anna said, tugging at her scarf. "Just home for the holidays." "Lucky me," Ryan teased, and Anna felt heat creep up her neck. They stood there for a moment, the hum of the espresso machine filling the silence. Finally, Ryan gestured toward a table. "Sit. Let me buy you a coffee. Or, make you one." Perks of being the guy who knows the barista. Anna hesitated, then nodded. "Sure." As she slid into the chair, Ryan moved behind the counter with practiced ease. "So," he called over his shoulder, "still running the world?" "Just the digital part," Anna replied, smiling faintly. "Marketing, big company, lots of deadlines." Ryan returned with 2 steaming mugs, setting one in front of her. "Sounds intense." "It is," Anna admitted. "But I love it." He sat across from her, fingers curled around his cup. "I'm glad. You always had that fire." Anna laughed softly. "And you? What's your story?" Ryan shrugged, but his eyes lit up. "Head chef at my family's restaurant. Spent a few years in Europe after culinary school, Italy, France, Spain. Learned a lot. Ate even more." "Head chef." Anna raised her brows. "Impressive." "Don't sound so surprised," Ryan said, grinning. "I can do more than burn toast now." Anna chuckled, remembering the time he nearly set off the smoke alarm making grilled cheese. Ryan leaned back, studying her. "You look good, Anna." She felt her pulse skip. "You too." Outside, snowflakes drifted past the window like tiny dancers. Inside, the air was warm, and something old, something familiar, stirred between them. Ryan smiled, slow and easy. "You should come by the restaurant while you're in town. Let me cook for you. Real food. No spreadsheets involved." Anna hesitated, then nodded. "I'd like that." As she walked out of the cafe, coffee warming her hands, she couldn't shake the feeling that the past wasn't as far away as she thought. Chapter 4. Mr. M and Marinara. The Callahan family restaurant sat on the corner of Maple and 3rd, its windows glowing like a promise against the winter dusk. A wreath hung on the door, and the scent of garlic and fresh basil drifted into the street, wrapping Anna in a warm, savory hug before she even stepped inside. She pushed open the door, and the familiar chime of bells greeted her. The place hadn't changed much, still cozy, with dark wood tables and soft amber lights, but there were new touches: framed photos of Italy, handwritten specials on a chalkboard, and a sleek espresso machine that looked like it belonged in a Milan cafe. Ryan appeared from the kitchen, apron dusted with flour, sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms that could probably knead dough and break hearts with equal ease. His smile was instant, easy, like no time had passed. "You made it," he said, wiping his hands on a towel. "I was starting to think you'd stand me up." Anna grinned. "I wouldn't dare. I hear you're a big deal now." Ryan chuckled. "Depends who you ask." Come on, your table's ready. He led her to a corner booth near the window, where candles flickered against the glass. Outside, snow fell in lazy spirals, painting the world in white. Inside, the air hummed with warmth and the faint strains of Sinatra crooning from the speakers. Ryan handed her a menu, but she barely glanced at it. Surprise me, she said. You're the chef. His eyes lit up. Dangerous words, McCaffery. I'll be right back. As he disappeared into the kitchen, Anna let her gaze wander. Families laughed over steaming plates of pasta. Couples leaned close over glasses of wine. It was the kind of place where time slowed down, where life felt less like a race and more like a meal you wanted to savor. Ryan returned with a plate that looked like art, pillowy gnocchi bathed in a creamy truffle sauce, sprinkled with fresh herbs. House specialty, he said, sliding it in front of her. Made from scratch. Anna inhaled, and her stomach practically applauded. This smells amazing. Wait until you taste it, Ryan said, settling across from her with his own plate. So, tell me, what's life like in the big city? Anna twirled a forkful of gnocchi, savoring the first bite before answering. Fast, loud, competitive. I love it. But, she hesitated, then shrugged. Sometimes I wonder if I'm missing something. Ryan's gaze softened. Like what? Anna met his eyes, and for a moment, the question hung between them like mistletoe. She looked away, focusing on her plate. I don't know. Balance, maybe? Ryan smiled faintly. City life doesn't exactly scream balance. No, Anna admitted, laughing. It screams deadlines. They ate in companionable silence for a while, punctuated by easy banter and shared memories. High school football games, late-night diner runs, the time Ryan tried to teach her to cook and nearly burned down his parents' kitchen. Oh, speaking of disasters, Ryan said suddenly, grinning. You have to meet Mr. M. Anna blinked. Mr. what? Mr. Murder, Ryan said, deadpan. My cat. Anna choked on her wine. You named your cat Mr. Murder? Ryan shrugged, amused. He earned it. Tried to kill me twice. Once with claws, once with a well-timed trip down the stairs. Anna laughed so hard her cheeks hurt. You're insane. Maybe, Ryan said, eyes twinkling. But he's loyal. In his own homicidal way. Anna shook her head, still smiling. I have to meet this menace. Careful what you wish for, Ryan warned. But his grin said he was already planning it. When Anna finally stepped back into the cold night, her heart felt lighter than it had in months. The snow crunched under her boots, and the world seemed softer somehow, like maybe, just maybe, she wasn't as far from balance as she thought. Chapter 5. Snowflakes and Secrets. The night was crisp, the kind that made every breath feel like a secret whispered into the cold. Anna pulled her coat tighter as she stepped out of the restaurant, her boots crunching against fresh snow. Ryan followed, shrugging into his jacket, his hair dusted with flour like a culinary halo. Need a ride? He asked, his voice warm against the chill. Anna shook her head. I walked. Thought I'd burn off some of that gnocchi. Ryan grinned. Fair enough. Mind if I join you? She hesitated for a fraction of a second, then nodded. Sure. They fell into step, the quiet of the small town wrapping around them like a blanket. Christmas lights glowed from every porch, and the distant sound of carolers drifted through the air. Anna felt a strange sense of peace, as if the world had slowed down just for them. So, Ryan said, hands tucked into his pockets, tell me something your LinkedIn profile doesn't. Anna laughed softly. That's a dangerous question. I like dangerous, Ryan teased, his smile crooked. She thought for a moment, then said, okay, I hate loud guys. The ones who think volume equals charm. No thanks. Ryan chuckled. Still the same Anna. You always liked the quiet ones. Quiet doesn't mean boring, she countered. True, he said, glancing at her. Sometimes quiet means steady. The word lingered in the air, heavier than snow. Anna looked away, watching flakes settle on the dark branches of an oak tree. What about you? She asked. Tell me something Instagram doesn't know. Ryan smirked. I talk to my cat like he's my therapist. Anna burst out laughing. Mr. Murder? Yep, Ryan said, grinning. He's judgmental, but he listens. They walked on, their laughter mingling with the hush of falling snow. For a while, they talked about everything and nothing, travel stories, favorite Christmas movies, the eternal debate over whether Die Hard counts as a holiday classic. Ryan said yes. Anna said absolutely not. Then, as they passed the old park where they used to hang out after school, the conversation shifted. Do you ever think about what might have happened? Ryan asked quietly. Anna's breath caught. You mean us? He nodded, eyes steady. We were good together. Anna swallowed hard, her pulse quickening. We were kids. Kids who knew what they wanted, Ryan said. At least I thought I did. Anna stopped walking, snow crunching under her boots. Ryan. He held up his hands, palms open. Not trying to make things weird. Just seeing you again. It makes me wonder. Anna stared at him, the glow of a street lamp painting his face in gold and shadow. Part of her wanted to laugh it off, keep things light. But another part, the part that had been quiet for too long, wanted to ask the same question. Instead, she said softly, "Life's complicated." Ryan smiled faintly. "Always has been." They resumed walking, the silence between them no longer empty but full of something unspoken, something that felt like possibility. When they reached Anna's parents' street, Ryan stopped. "Guess this is your stop." Anna nodded, her heart thudding. "Thanks for walking with me." "Any time," Ryan said, his smile slow and warm. "And hey, don't forget about that cat meeting." Anna laughed, even as her chest tightened. "Wouldn't miss it." As she watched him walk away, his figure fading into the snowy night, Anna realized something she hadn't felt in years. Hope, fragile, flickering, but real. Chapter 6, The Family Plot. Anna woke to the smell of cinnamon rolls and the sound of laughter drifting up from the kitchen. For a moment, she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if last night had been real. The walk with Ryan, the way his voice softened when he said we were good together. It felt like a memory and a possibility tangled together. Downstairs, her family was in full holiday mode. Jack was perched at the counter, stealing frosting from a bowl while her mother pretended not to notice. Her father sat at the table, reading the paper like he hadn't been up since dawn. "Morning, city girl," Jack said as Anna walked in, hair still damp from the shower. "Sleep well? Or were you too busy thinking about Ryan Callahan?" Anna froze mid-step. "Excuse me?" Jack grinned like a cat who'd found the cream. "Saw you two walking last night. Looked cozy." Anna grabbed a mug and poured coffee with exaggerated calm. "We were catching up. That's what people do when they run into old friends." "Friends," Jack repeated, drawing out the word like it was a punchline. "Sure." Her mother turned, eyes bright with curiosity. "Ryan Callahan? Oh, Anna, he's such a nice boy. His family's restaurant is doing so well. You know, his mother told me he's single." Anna groaned. "Mom, what?" Her mother shrugged, sliding a tray of rolls into the oven. "You could do worse." Her father lowered the paper, his expression mild but amused. "Ryan always had good manners. And ambition." Anna set her mug down a little harder than necessary. "Can we not turn this into a matchmaking summit?" Jack smirked. "Too late. I already RSVP'd." Anna shot him a glare. "Don't you have your own life to meddle in?" Jack's grin faltered just enough for Anna to notice. "Working on it," he said lightly, but there was a flicker in his eyes, something she couldn't quite read. Before she could press, her mother clapped her hands. "Speaking of plans, Ryan invited us all to the restaurant for dinner tomorrow night. Isn't that lovely?" Anna blinked. "He what?" "Called this morning," her mother said, beaming. "Said he'd love to see everyone." Jack waggled his brows. "Everyone, huh?" Anna drained her coffee like it was armor. "Fine. Dinner. Whatever." But as she headed upstairs to tackle some remote work, her thoughts were anything but casual. Ryan wasn't just being polite, he was making an effort. And her family? They were practically laying out a red carpet. Anna told herself she wasn't here for romance. She was here for pie and holiday cheer and maybe a little peace. But as she opened her laptop, the truth whispered like falling snow. Peace was the last thing she was going to get. Chapter 7. Digital Deadlines and Dough. Anna's laptop screen glowed like a miniature sun in the dim light of her childhood bedroom. She sat cross-legged on the quilt her grandmother made, juggling campaign reports and holiday chaos. Outside, snow fell in lazy spirals, but inside, her inbox was a blizzard of its own. She was halfway through drafting an email when a knock sounded on the door. "Come in," she called, expecting her mother with another cinnamon roll. Instead, Ryan stepped in, carrying a brown paper bag and wearing that grin, the one that made her pulse skip like a scratched record. "Hope I'm not interrupting," he said, holding up the bag. "Thought you could use a break." Anna blinked. "Ryan? How?" "Your mom told me you were working," he said, setting the bag on the desk. "Figured you'd appreciate something better than cold turkey leftovers." Anna closed her laptop, curiosity piqued. "What's in there?" Ryan pulled out a container and popped the lid. "Homemade gnocchi, with sage butter, and a little tiramisu for dessert." Anna stared. "You brought me lunch?" Ryan shrugged, casual but not careless. "You looked like you needed it." Anna laughed softly. "You're not wrong." He handed her a fork, and she took a bite. Warm, pillowy perfection melted on her tongue. "Ryan Callahan," she said, shaking her head. "You're dangerous." "Dangerous?" His brows lifted. "I bring food, not trouble." "Food is trouble," Anna said, savoring another bite. "Especially when it tastes like this." Ryan chuckled, leaning against the desk. "So this is your empire, huh? Marketing queen in her natural habitat." Anna glanced at her laptop. "It's glamorous, I know." "Looks intense," Ryan said, his tone softer now. "Do you ever stop?" Anna hesitated, fork hovering midair. "Not really. If I slow down, I feel like I'm falling behind." Ryan studied her for a moment, then said quietly, "Behind what?" The question landed like a pebble in a still pond, rippling through her thoughts. She opened her mouth, then closed it, unsure how to answer. Ryan smiled faintly, breaking the tension. Don't worry, no pop quizzes. Just, don't forget to eat. Anna laughed, grateful for the shift. Thanks for the rescue. Anytime, Ryan said, gathering the empty bag. And hey, don't work too late. Tomorrow's dinner at the restaurant. Big night. Anna nodded, her heart thudding for reasons that had nothing to do with deadlines. I'll be there. As Ryan left, the room felt warmer, brighter, like he'd brought more than food, like he'd brought a reminder that life wasn't just about keeping pace. Sometimes it was about savoring the moment. Anna reopened her laptop, but her focus was gone. All she could think about was tomorrow night, and the man who made gnocchi feel like a love letter. Chapter 8. Christmas Eve Confessions. The Callahan restaurant shimmered like a jewel on Christmas Eve. Twinkling lights framed the windows, and garlands draped across the dark wood beams. Sinatra crooned softly in the background, and the scent of rosemary and roasted garlic floated through the air like an invitation. Anna stepped inside, brushing snow from her coat. Her breath caught, not because of the decor though it was stunning, but because of Ryan. He stood near the entrance, sleeves rolled up, apron tied at his waist, looking like every holiday movie chef who'd ever stolen hearts. His smile when he saw her was warm enough to melt the frost on her scarf. You made it, he said, voice low and rich. Wouldn't miss it, Anna replied, trying to ignore the way her pulse jumped. The evening unfolded like a scene from a dream. Her family filled a long table near the fireplace, laughter mingling with the clink of glasses. Jack was in rare form, teasing Anna about her mystery date, while her mother beamed like she'd orchestrated the entire night, which, knowing her, she probably had. Ryan moved through the room with effortless grace, checking on guests, delivering plates that looked like art. But every so often, his gaze found Anna, and the world seemed to narrow to just the two of them. After dessert, tiramisu so decadent Anna considered writing it a love letter. Ryan appeared at her side. Want to see the kitchen? He asked, his tone casual but his eyes anything but. Anna hesitated, then nodded. Sure. The kitchen was warm, alive with the hum of simmering sauces and the clatter of pans. Ryan led her to a quiet corner near the prep station, away from the bustle. For a moment, they just stood there, the glow of the overhead lights painting his face in gold and shadow. You look happy, Ryan said softly. Anna blinked. Do I? He nodded. Happier than when I saw you in that cafe. Anna laughed lightly. That was a stressful day. Ryan studied her, his expression serious now. You work hard, Anna. Always have. But, do you ever wonder if you're working for the right things? The question hit like a spark in dry tinder. Anna swallowed, her throat tight. Sometimes, she admitted. But I don't know how to stop. Ryan stepped closer, his voice low. Maybe you don't have to stop. Maybe you just make room. Anna's breath caught. The kitchen noise faded, replaced by the pounding of her heart. Ryan was close enough that she could smell the faint trace of rosemary on his skin, see the flecks of gold in his eyes. Ryan, she began, but the words tangled. He smiled faintly, like he knew what she couldn't say. I'm not asking for answers tonight. Just, don't forget what matters. Anna opened her mouth. Then the sound of carolers burst through the door, laughter and music spilling into the kitchen like a tidal wave. Ryan stepped back, his smile rueful. Timing, he muttered. Anna laughed, shaky but genuine. Guess the universe isn't ready for us. Ryan's gaze held hers, steady and warm. Maybe it's just making us wait. As she returned to the dining room, her heart felt like a snow globe, shaken, swirling, full of something bright and fragile. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But tonight, she knew this. Ryan Callahan wasn't just a ghost from her past. He was a possibility, and maybe, just maybe, the kind she'd been waiting for. Chapter 9. The cinnamon kiss. Christmas morning arrived wrapped in quiet magic. Snow blanketed the streets, muffling the world in white, and sunlight streamed through frosted windows like golden ribbons. Anna padded into the kitchen in fuzzy socks, expecting coffee and calm. Instead, she found Ryan. He stood at the counter, sleeves rolled up, dusted in flour like a mischievous angel. A tray of cinnamon rolls waited nearby, their spirals glistening with sugar and butter. He looked up, grinning. Merry Christmas. Anna blinked. What are you? How did you? Your mom let me in, Ryan said, holding up a whisk like a peace offering. I promised cinnamon rolls. Thought I'd make good on it. Anna laughed, shaking her head. You're unbelievable. Unbelievably charming? Ryan suggested, eyes twinkling. Unbelievably early? Anna countered, but her smile betrayed her. He gestured to the dough. Care to help? Or just supervise? Anna rolled up her sleeves. I'm not afraid of a little flour. Good, Ryan said, sliding a bowl toward her. Start mixing. They fell into an easy rhythm, laughing, teasing, stealing tastes of icing when they thought no one was looking. The kitchen smelled like heaven. Cinnamon, sugar, and something warmer, something that felt like home. Careful with that, Ryan warned as Anna reached for the flour. It's a weapon in the wrong hands. Anna smirked. Like this. She flicked a puff of flour at him. Ryan froze, mock horror on his face. Oh, it's war now. Before she could react, a cloud of flour exploded in her direction. Anna shrieked, laughing so hard she nearly dropped the whisk. "Ryan, rules of engagement," he said, grinning like a kid. "No mercy." They circled the counter, tossing flour like snowballs, until Anna slipped on a patch of sugar and Ryan caught her, arms strong and steady around her waist. The laughter died, replaced by something electric. Anna looked up, breathless. Ryan's face was inches from hers, his eyes warm and intent. For a heartbeat, the world held still. The kitchen, the snow outside, the hum of distant carols, all fading into silence. Then he kissed her. It wasn't rushed or tentative. It was slow, deep, and certain, like a promise whispered against her lips. Anna melted into it, her hands curling into his shirt, her heart pounding like sleigh bells. When they finally broke apart, Ryan rested his forehead against hers, smiling. "Guess I win." Anna laughed softly, her voice shaky. "Pretty sure we both did." Outside, church bells chimed, marking Christmas morning. Inside, Anna realized something she hadn't dared admit until now. This wasn't just nostalgia. It wasn't just holiday magic. It was real. And it was hers if she was brave enough to claim it. Chapter 10. The New Year's Choice. The days between Christmas and New Year's passed in a blur of snowflakes and second thoughts. Anna worked remotely from her parents' dining room table, juggling campaign deadlines while her mind wandered to flower fights and kisses that tasted like cinnamon and certainty. Ryan didn't push. He texted sometimes, funny memes, updates about Mr. Murder's latest assassination attempts, but he didn't crowd her. And somehow that made it harder, because the space he gave her wasn't empty. It was full of possibility. On the morning of December 31st, Anna sat by the window, watching snow drift across the yard. Her laptop was open, but the words on the screen blurred. She was supposed to finalize a strategy deck. Instead, she was making lists in her head. Reasons to go back to the city. Career momentum. Stability. Everything she'd worked for. Reasons to stay or at least try. Ryan. The way he looked at her like she wasn't just enough. She was everything. The fact that, for the first time in years, she felt like she could breathe. Her father's words echoed. Don't let perfect blind you to good. But Ryan wasn't just good. He was steady, kind, and real. The kind of man who didn't treat loyalty like a seasonal trend. The kind of man who made her wonder if forever wasn't a gamble after all. Her phone buzzed. A text from Ryan. "Ryan, town square tonight. Fireworks at midnight. If you're free." Anna stared at the screen, her heart thudding. Free? She wasn't sure she'd ever felt less free, or more. That night, the town square glowed under strings of lights, the air alive with music and laughter. People huddled in coats, sipping cocoa, waiting for the countdown. Anna stood near the fountain, scarf pulled tight, scanning the crowd. Then she saw him. Ryan, hands in his pockets, snow dusting his hair like frost. When his eyes found hers, the noise faded, and the world narrowed to two people standing in the cold, hearts beating in sync. "You came," he said, his smile slow and warm. "I did," Anna replied, breathless. They walked together, weaving through the crowd, until they found a quiet spot near the old clock tower. The countdown began in the distance. 10, 9, 8, but Anna barely heard it. "I don't know what happens next," she said softly. "I have a life in the city, a job I love. But," she swallowed hard, "I don't want to lose this." Ryan's gaze held hers, steady as ever. "Then don't." "Ryan," she began, but he shook his head gently. "I'm not asking you to give up anything," he said. "Just give us a chance. No pressure, no deadlines, just time." The crowd roared. 3, 2, 1. Fireworks exploded overhead, painting the sky in gold and crimson. Anna felt the world tilt, and before she could think, she kissed him, hard, certain, like a decision made in her bones. When they broke apart, Ryan smiled against her lips. "Happy New Year." Anna laughed, tears stinging her eyes. "Happy New Year." And for the first time in a long time, she wasn't worried about running out of time. She was ready to make it hers. Chapter 11. Midnight promises. The fireworks had faded, leaving the night draped in quiet and glittering smoke. The town square buzzed with laughter and music, but Anna and Ryan lingered near the clock tower, the cold biting at their cheeks, their breath mingling in the frosty air. Anna's heart was still racing from the kiss, the kind that rewrote rules and burned bridges to doubt. She felt lighter, freer, like someone had opened a window in a room she didn't realize was locked. Ryan brushed a snowflake from her hair, his touch gentle. "You okay?" he asked softly. Anna laughed, shaky but genuine. "Define okay." His smile curved slow and warm. "You look like someone who just made a decision." Anna swallowed hard. "I think I did." Ryan tilted his head, waiting. "I've spent years chasing deadlines," she said, her voice low, "building a life that looks perfect on paper. But tonight, I realized something." "What's that?" Ryan asked, his tone steady, patient. "That perfect isn't the point," Anna whispered. "Real is." Ryan's eyes softened, and for a moment, the world felt still. "Anna," he said quietly. I'm not asking you to give up your life. I just want to be part of it. Anna blinked back tears, her throat tight. I want that too. He smiled then. Slow, certain, the kind of smile that felt like sunrise after a long night. Good, because I've got plans. Anna laughed, the sound breaking like ice under sunlight. Plans? Big ones, Ryan said, his grin crooked. Step 1. Convince Mr. Murder not to kill you. Anna snorted. That sounds like a full-time job. Worth it? Ryan said, his voice rich with something deeper than humor. They stood there for a while, watching the last sparks fade from the sky, their hands intertwined like it was the most natural thing in the world. Around them, the crowd cheered, couples kissed, and the new year began with a roar. But for Anna, the noise was distant. All she heard was the steady beat of her own heart, and the quiet promise in Ryan's eyes. When they finally walked back through the snow, Anna felt something she hadn't felt in years. Certainty. Not the kind that came from spreadsheets or strategy decks, but the kind that came from knowing you were exactly where you were meant to be. The house was hushed after the New Year's festivities, the glow of string lights casting soft halos across the living room. Anna slipped in through the back door, cheeks flushed from the cold and from Ryan's kiss that still lingered like a secret on her lips. Jack was on the couch, nursing a glass of bourbon, his usual grin replaced by something quieter. Anna hesitated, then sat beside him, tucking her legs under a blanket. You okay? She asked softly. Jack stared at the amber liquid, swirling it like it held answers. Yeah, just thinking. Anna waited. Jack wasn't the type to spill easily, but when he did, it mattered. Finally, he said, You know how Mom keeps worrying about you settling down? Anna groaned. Don't remind me. Jack smiled faintly. She's been doing the same to me. Only difference is, I don't have a Ryan Callahan showing up with gnocchi. Anna tilted her head. Jack, he sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. There's someone. Has been for a while. But it's complicated. Complicated how? She's got a kid, Jack said quietly, and an ex who's not great. I didn't want to drag her into family drama until I knew where we stood. Anna's chest softened. Do you love her? Jack's smile was small but certain. Yeah, I do. Anna reached over, squeezing his hand. Then fight for it. You deserve happy too. Jack chuckled, eyes glinting. Look at you, giving relationship advice. Don't get used to it, Anna teased, but her voice was warm. They sat in companionable silence, the kind that only siblings could share. Outside, snow fell in slow spirals, and inside, Anna realized something. Love wasn't neat or easy. It was messy and brave and worth every risk. Chapter 12. A Recipe for Forever. The first week of January dawned crisp and bright, sunlight glinting off snow like scattered diamonds. Anna stood in Ryan's kitchen, sleeves rolled up, watching him wrestle with a stubborn jar of marinara. Mr. Murder perched on the counter, tail flicking like a metronome of judgment. Does he always look like he's plotting your demise? Anna asked, eyeing the cat. Ryan grinned. Only when I'm winning. Anna laughed, reaching over to scratch Mr. Murder behind the ears. The cat tolerated her touch for exactly 3 seconds before swatting her hand with imperial disdain. Progress, Ryan said solemnly. He didn't draw blood. Anna shook her head, smiling. I feel honored. Ryan set the jar down and turned to her, his expression softening. So, have you decided? Anna's breath caught. She knew what he meant. Not about dinner or dessert, but about everything. The city, the job, him. I have, she said quietly. I'm not giving up my career, but I'm done letting it be the only thing that matters. Ryan's eyes warmed, steady and sure. That's all I wanted. Anna stepped closer, her heart thudding. I want us, Ryan. Not just for the holidays. For real. His smile was slow, certain, the kind that felt like sunrise after a long night. Then let's make it real. He kissed her then, deep and unhurried, while Mr. Murder leapt down with a huff, as if declaring himself above such sentimentality. Later, they sat at the table, planning the messy, beautiful logistics of blending two lives. Weekend visits, remote work flexibility, maybe a move down the line. It wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. Anna thought of her father's words. Don't let perfect blind you to good. She smiled because this wasn't just good. It was everything she hadn't dared hope for. Ryan reached for her hand, fingers warm against hers. You know, he said, eyes twinkling, I've got a new recipe idea. Oh, Anna teased. What's it called? A dash of forever, Ryan said, grinning. Anna laughed, her heart full. Sounds perfect. Outside, snow fell in soft spirals, and inside, Anna realized something simple and true. Love wasn't loud or flashy. It was steady, loyal, and worth every risk. And for the first time in her life, she wasn't chasing time. She was savoring it. Epilogue. 1 year later, snow fell in soft spirals outside the window, just like it had last Christmas. But everything else had changed. Anna stood in the kitchen of the apartment she now shared with Ryan, sleeves rolled up, hair pulled into a messy bun. The scent of cinnamon and butter filled the air, mingling with the faint strains of Sinatra playing from the speaker. Mr. Murder lounged on the counter like a furry overlord, glaring at the rolling pin as if plotting its demise. Don't even think about it, Anna warned, pointing a flour-dusted finger at the cat. Ryan appeared behind her, sliding his arms around her waist, his chin resting on her shoulder. Talking to him again? He started it, Anna said, laughing softly. Ryan kissed her cheek, warm and easy. 1 year, and you still haven't learned. Mr. Murder always wins. Anna turned in his arms, smiling. Not always. Ryan grinned, eyes crinkling at the corners. True, you won me. Her heart still did that ridiculous flip every time he said things like that. Best victory of my life. They stood there for a moment, the hum of the oven and the glow of the Christmas tree filling the silence. Outside, the city buzzed because yes, they'd made it work. Anna kept her job. Ryan expanded the restaurant, and somehow, between flights and late-night calls and flower fights, they built a life that felt like theirs. Dinner at your parents' tomorrow? Ryan asked, brushing a stray curl from her face. Anna nodded. Jack's bringing someone. Ryan raised a brow. The mystery woman? Yep, Anna said, grinning. Looks like we're not the only ones who figured out forever. Ryan kissed her then, slow, certain, like a promise renewed, and as the timer dinged and Mr. Murder leapt down with imperial disdain, Anna realized something simple and true. Love wasn't about perfect timing or flawless plans. It was about choosing, every day, every season, every messy, beautiful moment. And she would choose this, always, the end.